Hi, I'm here with Dr. Fran Renda, the editor of A Call to Deeper Love. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Good. If you could you just tell us a little bit more about your book and what you've been working on with A Call to Deeper Love?
The book is about the letters of both Louis and Zellie Martin, the parents of Saint Therese. It's the everyday letters of this family, this couple, who are raising 9 children, four of whom died. Through an understanding of, or through a reading of these letters, you really get to understand how they became saints through the everyday. Nothing extraordinary. Just through the everyday ups and downs of life. And for them, there were a lot of downs. There was a lot of tragedy. There was a lot of illness. Their 4 children died. All the rest of them were in the process of dying, and they didn't die.
We spoke earlier about how their marriage, again, like you just said, wasn't perfect, and you think that that's different from marriage now. Could you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yeah, they had something that was very special that we don't have today, and that is an anchor. They were anchored in God. They were anchored in our Lord. And what I hear people talk about very often is they're looking for a commonality. So they will look for or say, we share tennis together or we share golf together. But they shared a spirituality together. God was their center. And they started every day with a mass at 5:30 in the morning. And the mass at 5:30 was for the peasants. It was for the common folk. And in those days, they were very status conscious, all of these people. You would never associate with someone lower than you, huh? And so they made it a point of being with the low class in the morning at 5:30 in the morning.
And you think that attributed to their successful marriage and, obviously the canonization.
Helped with their marriage was they understood and respected each other's difference. We have a hard time with people being different. If you're of a political party and I'm of another political party, that becomes a big issue, huh? For them, they were two very different people. He was a social person. He loved to play pool. He had friends. He would go out and be with people. For her, she was a homebody. She didn't like to socialize at all. She was there working continually and with her children. They respected that.
And are these all things that people can learn about through the letters of, yeah.
Letters. She describes her pregnancies and the difficulties of the childbirth, and this one was worse than that one, and it's you really see how how they trusted God, how they just let go, and they call it abandonment, but they just allowed God to work in their lives. They accepted what God sent them, and it's through that acceptance that they gained heaven.
Could you elaborate a little bit about how we were talking about how Pope Francis has a special connection to Saint Therese, and this upcoming canonization is going to be something that's really exciting for him?
Oh yeah, it'll be very exciting for him. He has a great love of Therese. Everything he speaks about, mercy, for instance. This coming December, he's starting the year of mercy, huh? And that's from Therese. Therese's Story of a Soul. That was the book that she wrote. Thérèse was a mimic. She was very funny in the convent, and she would tell stories, and it always had like a funny edge to it. And her sisters, she had 4 sisters in the convent with her, or 3 sisters and herself. And they said, "Why don't you write those stories of our childhood?" And the superior, who was her sister as well, said, "I'm asking you to write those stories."
Is there anything else you'd like to add about Saint Therese
And
the
with
Pope?
Pope Francis.
Yeah, anything like-
So what happened was, with the Year of Mercy, that's coming directly from Therese. And he has had a great devotion to Therese his whole life.
Yeah.
And he prays to her now all the time and asks her to send him a sign. He asks for a white rose, that things are going the way they should. And they do, as you can see. We have people in the church who have been canonized. The husband separately at one point the wife separately. This is the husband and wife together. She could never have attained sainthood on her own. He helped her come to sanctity. She helped him in the same way. And that's what marriage should be. Marriage should be, I'm there to make you a better person. Not inhibit you, not tear you down, not give you a hard time. But marriage should be, I will help you to become a better person, a whole person, a holy person for some people.